Today's Bible story comes from 1 Kings 3 and is titled The Wisdom of Solomon. For 40 years, King David had ruled the people of Israel. When the time came for him to die, he called his son Solomon to his bedside, and he gave the rule of the kingdom into his hands. It was a big job for the young prince, for Israel was a great nation. But his father David reminded him that the Lord would give him wisdom and understanding to do the job. David said, "There is a lot of work for you to do, my son, but above all, don't forget to walk in God's ways and obey his commandments." It was such a happy day for the people of Israel when Solomon was made king. Trumpets blew and the people shouted. Solomon was a good king. And, remembering his father's words, he asked God to guide him. One night the Lord appeared to Solomon and said, "Ask what I shall give you." Solomon was filled with wonder, but he did not even hesitate. He told the Lord he wanted to be a good, upright king like his father David, but he didn't know how to rule such a great nation, so he asked God for wisdom to do what was right. God was pleased when Solomon asked for wisdom instead of riches and promised him great wisdom and an understanding heart. God also promised to bless Solomon with honor and wealth if he obeyed his commands. Solomon realized that truly the Lord had spoken to him, and he praised God. "Happy is the man that finds wisdom and understanding," he said. Soon Solomon's new wisdom was put to the test. One day, 2 women were ushered into the court and stood before the king. They were crying and they were fighting. One was holding a baby in her arms. The other one pointed to her. "This woman has taken my child," she said. "She rolled on her own baby in the night and smothered him. Then she took my child and put the dead one beside me." "That's not true," the second woman said. "This child is mine, and the dead one is hers." "No, the child is mine," the first woman said to the king. King Solomon looked at them, and they stopped arguing. Everyone in the court was quiet, waiting to hear what Solomon would say. "Bring me a sword," he demanded. The women and all the people looked at him in surprise. Quickly a soldier sprang forward, his sword bared. Then the king said, "Divide the child in 2 and give half to one and half to the other." Then he watched the 2 mothers closely. The first woman shrugged. "That's fair enough," she said. "Then the child will be neither mine nor hers." But the other woman threw herself at the king's feet. "Oh, my lord king, do not kill the child. I'd rather you gave him to the other woman than kill him." Then Solomon knew the answer. He said, "Give her the child," for the king knew that she was the real mother. King Solomon was talked about in all the land because he was kind and just, wiser than any king before him, and all his people were happy. And today we can find blessing in the wisdom of God as spoken by his servant Solomon. Wisdom recorded in the book of Proverbs. Solomon's greatest treasure was the wisdom that God had given him. The Bible tells us that we can find true wisdom too by believing in the Lord Jesus Christ and by following him. For we read that in him are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Colossians 2, verse 3. And that's the end of our Bible story for today. So once again, I'd like you to look in your duotangs, and you should find a worksheet there. And it should have the title about Solomon's wisdom, and it is 3.2. When you are done your sheet, once again, if you could take a picture of it and post it on Seesaw, that would be great. Bye.